Welcome to Crystal's Bread. Today we're going to learn how to make chia seed, pumpkin seed, flax seed, sourdough bread. To make this bread, make sure feed your starter overnight, and same time you can soak the seed overnight in hot water and let it sit down at room temperature uncovered. To make this bread, we're going to incorporate different technique or method. I'm using a little bit of a whole wheat flour for this recipe. And then we're going to autolyze our flour. Autolyze is to mix water and flour. In this process, enzymes start activating and start dissolving or breaking down the flour. And same time, gluten develops, and that's a head start. So right after mix, you can see it's easily break off. And we're going to let it sit on room temperature about 30 minutes. If you want it, you can do longer than that. Now, after 30 minutes, you notice that gluten is getting stronger and dough is more stretchable. Now we're going to add our starter and salt. Keep in mind when you use autolyze that when you mix the water and flour, if it's too stiff, then you add starter, then dough is going to be a little stiff. So make sure add tablespoon of water at the time until you come with the right texture and consistency. If it's too runny, then you can add 1 tablespoon flour at a time as well. So we're going to mix it until all our starter incorporated with flour dough, and we're going to mix it really well until it all comes together. Then we're going to let it sit in room temperature about an hour. And now I'm going to use a stretch and fold technique. So we're going to let it sit in room temperature about an hour. So we're going to let the gluten get more extensible and elastic, and then we're going to add the seed mix. So once the gluten is built, a nice strong gluten, then when you mix the seed mix later on, it's not going to break the gluten. It's going to go in between the gluten strands, I guess. So we're going to stretch until it stops stretching anymore. If you go beyond that, you're going to start breaking down the gluten bonds. So please do not overstretch your bread dough. So we're going to folding layers and layers. So since it's a round bowl, I don't know how well you can see, but more layers we're making, the dough it's getting thinner and thinner, and then seed mix is going to be spreading out evenly. And we can repeat this process at least 2 times or 3 times. This is the second time I'm stretching. You can see dough is getting nice, a strong, elastic ball. So to show the explanation I'm making, I'm gonna mix it and show in a flat pan that it's the same recipe I'm using, and make sure your hand is nicely wet. So when you stretch and fold, dough, seed mix, and dough. And now we're gonna turn around and stretch it from the side. Then this is our second fold, which makes the dough, dough, seed, dough, dough, seed, and dough. And now we're gonna fold third time, so it's getting thinner and seed mixture is spreading out evenly. So likewise, and now I'm just showing it to you how many we fold it 3 times, that makes how many different layers. You can count that. Once the bread is, this process is repeated 2-3 times, then we're gonna shape the dough. So now you can see this dough is so airy because our gluten is strong and extensible, and it can hold the air, trap air very nicely, evenly. So it's gonna be nice, puffy dough. Just want to show the cross cut, how evenly it is distributed. And we're gonna use pre-shape technique as well. So we're gonna pre-shape it in a bowl shape and then let it sit on a encounter for 30 minutes. And then I'm doing now the final shape. That way the gluten, we're gonna build the more strength in the gluten. I did not show the scoring. For some reason I forgot to tape it. So I will show you at the end. Make sure to turn on your oven at least 45 to 60 minutes prior to putting in the oven. So that way your oven is nicely heated before you put bread in the oven. You can bake this bread in baking sheet. In that case, make sure to put a water tray on the bottom and put a cup of hot water when you put the bread in the oven. And if you're using cast iron, bake covered 20 minutes and uncovered 10 to 20 minutes. You just keep eye on the color. So this is a beautiful bread comes out, nice color. The crust is just so beautiful. And I am going to show you the scoring I made. This is the oval bread scoring I made, and here are 2 round loaves. Toasted pumpkin seeds is just so beautiful. Now we're gonna cut the bread. Nice crunchy crust, and crumbs are beautiful with all the seeds distributed evenly, and so is air distributed evenly. Soft crumbs and crunchy crust, beautiful bread. Now you know how to make the spread. Follow this recipe and enjoy it.